Caitlyn Jenner? No. Oh, Caitlyn Jenner.
The bicyclist?
Used to be Bruce Jenner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I think if it entered around that time, Larry Elder might have took it. But I don't know, man. It's going to be close. California is blue, but now you have people in blue states.
They're pissed.
Turning red all of a sudden.
Well, they're not just turning blue. They're just pissed off at they see how bad the Democrats have become, and they're pissed off because they see how free the red states are. And, I mean, no matter how blue someone is, they don't want to be caged down like a criminal. No.
It's a glaring contrast. It is a glaring contrast. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. We're over here able to do whatever the heck we want. You know, sure, people are getting COVID and going to the hospital, but there's plenty of room in the hospital, and they're getting treated, and they're going home, or they're dying, unfortunately. But
but it's not only the red states; the blue states are like that too. Washington has one of the highest cases of outbreaks.
Exactly, and there they can't even go. They don't even have anywhere for you to go because they have no room.
Yep.
So we are handling it better. Florida's handling it better. So I mean, it is what it is. This lab-created virus that was created by the United States of America.
No, it was created by China. It was paid for by the United States of America.
True. Actually, they had it in America first, and then they sent it to China because the CDC said it was too dangerous to keep in America, so they sent it to China. So we did have it here. Fauci had it here.
Has anybody from the CDC ever bought anything made in China?
Probably. Ventilators.
I know, right? They thought that shit was going to work. Hey, it's too dangerous here. We're going to send it to China. It won't affect the entire world.
Well, they know that China doesn't have to follow guidelines and humanitarian right guidelines and all that different stuff. Yeah, they know China can get away with all that stuff, so they're more than happy to let China do the dirty work. Yeah, they like China. Let's see let's check this out real quick. I'll play this. Boom.
Information from the CDC tonight is turning crucial things we were told about COVID upside down. The CDC revealing tonight that 74% of COVID cases in Barnstable County, Massachusetts, home to Provincetown, where there was a recent outbreak, were found in people who were fully vaccinated. And they say now that the vaccinated are just as likely to spread the virus as those who are not vaccinated. And that, of course, is contrary to what was widely.
Actually, we're even more able to transmit. I read a document.
And now, the meeting of the...
that vaccinated people have 240 times the viral load as a non-vaccinated individual.
Really?
Yes. It's a lot more. It's a lot higher. So vaccinated people are much more likely to spread it, according to the documentation.
Well, no, but I'm going to touch on this when we start the video, right?
Yeah, it's recording. We just watched...
So I was thinking we could start off the show with this and then do the introduction.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll start.
And then go to the whole Afghan thing.
That's
I'm gonna try to find some video of the Taliban because they're shoving kids in cars, all kind of shit, right?
Oh yeah.
They're killing people.
Oh, I know they're killing people.
And the Biden administration is treating it like it's nothing. He's more worried about COVID and your firearms rights. This is the worst president in U.S. history.
He is the worst president in U.S. history.
You know what? If him and Obama ran against each other, I'd vote for Obama. Lesser of two evils. At least Obama believed in killing terrorists, not arming them.
That is true. Unless a lot of people are thinking that he's calling the shots right now, but actually, I don't think that is true either.
I don't think that's true. I think if he was, Afghanistan would have went a completely different way. I think they would have sent more troops. Obama loved his wars.
That makes a lot of money.
Yeah, war makes money.
It does.
Yeah, you've never seen a broke defense contractor ever.
Shit. Well, that's why I'm sure we'll be back. I'm sure we'll be back, and they'll find a way to blame it on somebody.
Well, you know what? I was kind of thinking, right? If you look at the way it went down, even right before we pulled out, Trump recognized the Taliban as a legit government. We were still there, right?
Yeah.
So we pull out, arm the Taliban. Now China has Afghanistan, which you can get a shitload of lithium from,
Yep. Which you need for the cars.
which they need for their electric cars. Which now Biden has put in a mandate that all federal vehicles by whatever year will be electric, right?
Yeah.
Well, that lithium has to come from somewhere. It's going to come from Chinese-controlled Afghanistan, and the Taliban now has the arms to hold that country.
Yeah, that's true, and they got the labor to
Right.
get it out of the ground.
Well, and not only that, but some Chinese ambassador's wife gave Hunter Biden a $2 million gift.
Oh, when was that?
That was a couple of years ago. That was before Joe ran for president.
Okay.
And it came out when he was running for president.
Oh, Biden
So
was
I
selling
think-
his paintings, his stupid paintings, for $500,000 a pop.
And they didn't want the buyers to be named, and they claimed it was protecting Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. But come to find out, Hunter Biden knew who the buyers were. They told him. Bro, we're in a lot deeper shit than I think we know.
Oh, of course we are.
You know what? We're recording, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so what I'm finding, honestly, in a lot of my circles, because I run with ex-SF guys, ex-SEALs, like you saw my one video on the Dan Dawson show,
Mm-hmm.
where before the news even broke, I broke the news, there were 5 planes sitting on the tarmac in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to reveal to the world how I knew. Because a few of my buddies had invited me to go do a rescue op. They needed a really good medic, and they wanted me to go. But I was in the transition of moving from Washington to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to interrupt that transition because I felt it was more important to get out of Washington State and get to Texas. So I didn't go. My buddy Bob Massey, retired SF. We can use their names. I've already talked to him. My buddy Kelly Kuchman, retired Navy SEAL. My buddy Justin, my buddy James Bentley, they went. The United States State Department turned them away, wouldn't let them in.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It was, and so I knew firsthand because Kelly's like, hey, we're going to blah, 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 go here. We're going to go to Afghanistan and, pack your shit. I'm like, all my tactical shit, my rifles and everything, my aid bag, all that stuff is in Texas. I was in Washington State at the time. It's like, it was my first trip. I was like, all that stuff's in Texas. So I would have to go to Texas, pack, then come, and then I would be leaving the old lady in a lurch. And I didn't want to do that.
Exactly.
I told them no. So it turns out they just circled around Afghanistan. They landed in Kabul. No. Where they say they landed at, but they couldn't get off the plane. So it was a wasted trip. So I broke that even before Fox News. I don't even know if CNN covered it.
Oh, probably not.
Probably not. But I broke that before because I already knew it because it was already rules up. Plus, it was a completely volunteer mission, which I'm all out for rescuing Americans. And
Of course.
let's go do it. Let's pack it up. Let's go do it. And I was tossing it back and forth, but I was like, bottom line, in the day, we're transitioning. I'm asking her to come to a state where she's never been before. I'm not going to send her to a state where she's never been before. And now I'm in Afghanistan, circling the air for no reason. It was ridiculous. But I broke the news on the Dan Dawson show, and I was hoping I wouldn't get hit for that, and I didn't. Thank God. So, and then you see these senators coming out, and they're taking private flights, and they're taking I don't want to say mercenaries. They're taking SF guys, ex-spec ops guys, right?
Yeah.
And they're over there trying to get people out, and they're being denied by the State Department. So it's not that we honestly couldn't have gotten people out.
They're not allowing us to.
No, we chose not to, because it wasn't the Taliban.
No, I mean our State Department is not allowing us.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
our
people
State
out.
Department's not allowing us to, because you can best bet if a plane packed with a few spec out guys touches down and decides to go get hostages, we're going to go get hostages, and there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll shoot our way in, shoot our way out. It's fine. Not that I'm a spec ops guy, but I run with those guys. I've been trained by those guys. I learned more about being a soldier after I got out by hanging with those guys than I did 9 years in the Army. But no, it's really funny to me. And then you get Jen Psaki with her craziness and her. It's like a lack of. I don't know, Brandon. How would you put it? It's like a lack of urgency.
Yeah. Well, they don't care. It's not. For one, they don't want to even talk about it because the sooner they can stop talking about it, so hopefully the people forget.
And that's why I think they honestly switched it up to the mandated COVID vaccines. They knew that was going to create.
A lot of pissed off people.
Yeah, and that's all people are talking about now. But we still got planes sitting on a tarmac in Afghanistan. So I was watching this video, and these people are talking about they feel like hostages. It's like, well, because you are a hostage. Just today, so I'm back in Texas now.
Yeah.
I live about an hour from my parents. Well, when I drove my first 2 cars to Texas, I left them at my parents' house, right? So we went down to get one today, picked it up, we're driving it back, and I'm listening to Tucker Carlson. And he's saying Joe Biden sent the Taliban $64 million.
$64 million.
$64 million. No contingencies, nothing attached to it, just sent it to him.
Must be nice.
We should have joined the Taliban, honestly. We could have retired now. But it's just stuff like that. With the whole Afghanistan crisis thing, where are you at on it?
Well, I think, like I said, I believe that we should have been out of there longer ago. However, it needed to be done in a better way. The whole point of that, we left all the military equipment for them to potentially kill our own people with. That pisses me off. At the same time, I don't feel that our people should be dying for someone else's conflict. They can't manage. These people have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We're not going to change their mind. We're not going to stop it. I mean, the tribal mentality, it's not going to stop. It's deep in the culture, and I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, I think people have to realize that Afghanis are different than Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Some Americans love flying the U.S. flag. That's our symbol.
Yes.
Afghanis aren't like that. They love their tribes. So yeah, you're right about that. Even though I do think there's something bigger afoot.
There's always something bigger afoot.
And if you watch China in the next 3 to 5 years, they're going to control the lithium market. They're going to have a stranglehold on electric cars.
Well, it's probably why they're building that roadway system over in Europe. I can't remember what it's called, but they got a huge project that they're building, some kind of roadway or something from China all the way over to Europe or something like that. And
You got to be joking me.
no, it's huge. It's huge.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, it's let's see if I can find it. Let me call it China Belt and Road Initiative. Here, check this out.
You might find this hard to imagine, but for years, China firmly believed it had to keep a low profile in international matters. In former Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping's words, It was important to hide your strengths and bide your time. That's why the Belt and Road Initiative marks a huge change in China's foreign policy. And it's not just a small shift, it's a plan that will have serious implications for how the world develops. Called 一带一路 in Chinese, the Belt and Road Initiative was first announced by Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2013. It's a globe-spanning plan with the purpose of strengthening trade, infrastructure, and investment links between China and an estimated 65 other countries. Together, potentially participating countries account for more than 30% of global GDP, 62% of the world's population, and 75% of known energy reserves. Despite what the name may imply, the road actually refers to a maritime network of shipping lanes running from China through Southeast Asia, Africa, and all the way to Europe. The belt, on the other hand, refers to the overland routes stretching from Central Asia to Europe. The most visible part of the Belt and Road so far has been infrastructure. In Kenya, for example, China built a $3.2 billion railway connecting the port city.
Huh.
You know what they're doing?
They're taking over the world.
Well, they're taking a page out of Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War.
Okay.
For our American military, right?
Okay.
They're studying white rage. These people are learning how to actually win wars. We're studying white rage. Really? Really? These people are learning how to build their economy, how to conquer the world.
Well, yeah. Now,
our country is, busy calling black men like myself white supremacists. Black men like Larry Elder, the face of white supremacy. It's really ridiculous.
it is ridiculous. These people, I mean, the way they're making it so that they can mobilize themselves, probably potentially militarily, across the entire, all of Europe, Africa. I mean, they're going to have the shipping routes. They're going to have high-speed trains. They're going to be able to get all over just like that.
Well, the bottom line, end of the day, is we've been outplayed. We've been outclassed.
Yeah. Because we're allowing it. They're selling. Our people are selling our ability out. They're selling us out.
Yes, they are. They're putting us in lockdown, destroying our economy. China's building this economy.
Oh, yeah. China's
They're
taking
destroying
over.
our military. China's building this military. And they just got a whole bunch of new people who are used to war. It's their culture. It's their life. The, how do I put it? Trying to think, oh, here's a good way to put it. These people have to understand, right? If this was a Star Wars universe, they would be the Mandalorians.
Yeah, the Afghanis.
They're born in war, they live in war, they die in war.
Yeah. They're not afraid of it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be so screwed. I mean, our people are so, they can barely go a day without their cell phone and their luxuries.
A day?
Yeah, I'm over it. An hour.
Hour.
If they lose power for just an hour or two, they're going to lose their shit. If they don't have running water for an hour or two, they'll lose their shit. I mean, just a word of a toilet paper shortage, people are going in panicking. I mean, people do not know. I mean, here in America, they're vulnerable. The American people are vulnerable because they don't know how to take care of themselves. Period.
Would you say weak?
Weak.
There's a small enclave where I think would be fine, but the majority, the city folk. If you're in a city,
Yeah.
you're kind of screwed.
Oh yeah, because even if you took the time to prepare yourself and get your stuff and keep it, the person that did it, that lives like down the block, is going to come and raid your house and try to take it from you.
Yep.
You know, and
Yep.
you might be able to shoot, a few people, but you're going to run out of bullets eventually. I mean,
Or get overwhelmed.
yeah, you can only shoot so many people.
Wow, this is really disheartening with this. I did not know about this. I'm so glad you brought this video up, and I hope our viewers see it. And it's
Yeah, I mean, check it out. There's only
of Mombasa to the country's capital, Nairobi. It now takes just 4.5 hours to get between the two cities, about a third of the time it used to take on the old rail system. But it's not just Kenya. Across the world, the Belt and Road has meant billions of dollars in investment from the Chinese. In Sri Lanka, about $200 million of Chinese funding went into the country's second international airport. After all the investment, though, it's been dubbed the world's emptiest international airport.
From Africa to Asia, there are many infrastructure projects involving railways, roads, and bridges. But that's just one part of China's Belt and Road Initiative.
Some say it's also serving as a huge marketing campaign for Chinese money looking for investment. Yeah, despite the
well, they
population of the
also
Belt.
to do this, China is making agreements with a lot of these countries, because China is funding the projects for these a lot of these countries that just don't have the financial abilities to do it. So they're making agreements, which is not going to be in our favor. It's going to be in the Chinese favor. We'll help you do this, and you're going to owe us one.
so now after seeing and knowing all this, let me ask you a question. Very personal, so I don't know if you want it on the YouTube channel. Who do you think was right? Trump, who said we need to focus on America and build us, or Biden, who said, hey, no, we're going China's way.
Well, I always believe in America. America's always
Right.
got to be first, because China, I mean, if you're not the top dog, you're going to be ran over. You're going to just be, it's over. You got to be, it's either win or don't, or just don't even show up. It's over.
Well, Brandon, even for the first time ever in the history of the United States, think about this, right? In the history, since the beginning, since we won our freedom from Britain, right?
Yeah.
The first time ever a United States president has been admonished on the House of the Parliament floor. George Washington wasn't even admonished on the House of the Parliament floor. But Biden was for his Afghanistan pullout. I think he's handing everything over to China.
Oh,
I think be impeached and removed immediately. Him and because his family, man, they're all a bunch of crooks. Him, his two brothers, and his son.
yeah, they're all absolute crooks, and they're selling us out. And it makes me mad that the Republicans are not putting up a bigger fight. They're like selling us out too.
The
rhinos.
Yeah. Well, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's really good. Ted Cruz, but you only have a few.
Yeah. There's not the other ones aren't willing to fight.
No. On the Democrat side, though, at least we have Joe Manchin
That's true.
and his female counterpart over there on the Democrat side. I forget her name, but you have on both sides a few real Americans who are willing to fight. The rest of them are just selling. They're selling for their own personal finance.
Yes, exactly.
Like AOC. Did you happen to see the dress she wore to her $30,000? I forget what the name of it is because I don't care because I don't do rich people stuff. I don't care to look rich. What was it? Oh, the Mets gallery ball.
Met gallery ball?
Yeah, it's the New York Mets.
Yeah, no, I didn't know.
The whole big museum thing where they have people come out. So she wore this dress that said "Tax the Rich." I'm like, hey, you are the rich, and you've done nothing, and will do nothing.
Exactly. just taking. What, like, ask her, what has she done for her people in her region?
Now I'm not gonna say it on this show because I don't want to get us taken down. But my other show, if it gets taken down, I really don't care because I don't get paid from that. But I'm hoping we build a successful career off this one. But I keep talking about the wall. The wall's coming, brother. It's coming.
Oh.
You want me to explain it to you?
Sure.
My theory on it is America's going to get to the point where it's like, we know your liberal ideas are right. That's right. That's right. We know you're offended. Shh. Turn around and face the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's getting not far from that point, brother.
I think it's gonna get bad. It's, I don't know.
Well, the scary part, think about it, right?
Uh,
I'm not from Washington. I'm a Texan, right?
Yeah.
But I've lived in Washington 20, 21 years. You're from Washington.
Yep.
You're a conservative. I'm a conservative. We both escaped. But how many of your liberal Facebook friends are now talking about moving to red states, Florida, Texas, Georgia?
I
Places
don't really
like that.
have too many liberal friends.
Yeah,
Not by choice.
I tend to run most of mine off too. So
Well, yeah, I don't know. We just, I don't know. There, a lot of mine that were Democrats were still conservative Democrats. I didn't have too many liberal Democrat friends. So,
I had a couple from my union days. They're not there anymore.
no.
But I see people who are not, well, no, they're still very left, right? Very left leaning. And it's like they're all moving to red states. It's like, no, if you like those policies, stay there.
Exactly.
Stay where you are. Don't come down here with that crap. We don't want to hear it. Even in Texas, you see a lot of our major cities are liberal.
Oh, yeah, that's how.
Austin, Houston.
I didn't know. Yeah, I knew Houston was like half and half, but they were still, wasn't it still the majority was
No, Houston is blue now.
is blue now?
Yeah. The only thing that works for Texas is unlike Washington,
Uh-huh.
for Eastern Washington, when me and the old lady drove down, right, we drove through Eastern Washington.
Yes.
You start seeing the Trump signs, and it becomes a lot more conservative, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then the funny thing is, you get in Oregon, it's liberal again. Then you get in Idaho, northern Idaho, it becomes conservative. You get into southern Idaho, it becomes liberal. New Mexico, the northern New Mexico is liberal. Get into southern New Mexico, closer to Texas, and it's conservative. But I think the liberals gather in pockets, the city pockets, which is not a good thing for them. The only thing going for Texas, remember one thing we always talked about in Washington is to be governor, you only had to win Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia.
That's it. Yeah.
You didn't have to worry about the rest of the state. Here you can't do that because most people are rural. So the rural voters really turn out and now vote the city folk. So
Oh,
you can
really?
have Austin, Houston.
That's how it
Oh,
works.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
the-
you can have Austin, Houston, and Dallas. But if you can't get those rural counties
yeah.
where people are hard and actually know what life is about and don't want to have humongous property taxes and all, you're not going to win governorship in Texas.
So I was wondering why the difference was. So their population out in the outskirts is actually more than the cities.
Oh yeah, Texas is huge. It took me
Well, I mean, it's,
all combined.
yeah, it's huge. It's huge, but still the population, Eastern Washington is huge, but there's just
But the majority of your population lives in small cities like College Station, where I live, right?
Yeah.
Corpus, Galveston, places like that, small cities. So you have a few big cities here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're focused, but not everybody in that big city is a liberal,
Exactly.
and so that makes a humongous difference.
I think that's the same thing that goes on here in Florida, because like Orlando is Democrat, and I think Tampa is also Democratic, and those are the two largest cities. And I wouldn't be surprised with Jacksonville, but the rest of the state is red as red can be, and it's populated no matter where you go. I mean, there's people all over the place.
Yeah, see, that was the thing, right? Even our rural cities here, our rural cities are still kind of big.
Exactly.
It's not like they're small.
Yeah, you can't outvote them. But then again, if you remember last week when we had the George on, he was talking about our governor only won by like 40,000 votes, and that's really nothing in Florida. 40,000 is nothing.
Well, think about it, right? And George had a point. How many people do you have moving there from out of state? Can you still see me?
Yes, I can see you. Oh, sort of. You're kind of dark.
Yeah, hold on. Let me try to go. It started raining, so I had to move in a little bit.
There you go. That's better.
They start moving in from these different cities, and they're not going to move to, like, if you're moving to Texas, you're not going to move to Diamondbacks, Texas, where I'm originally from. You're not going to move to Giddings, Texas, Lexington. You're going to move to Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, something like that. So I'm pretty sure the same thing for them. They're not going to move to the little cities. College Station. The reason I moved to because I know this place. This is where I was born and raised, so
I don't know.
I know what's good enough.
But me personally, I like smaller cities. I don't like the big cities.
But you're conservative.
Oh, that's true.
You're not a liberal. You're not looking for the bagel and Starbucks in the morning.
No, I make my own coffee.
Yeah. You know, it's you're not afraid to be independent.
No, not at all. I
Yes,
prefer
that's
it.
the thing.
I prefer it that
Matter of
way.
fact, I would say most conservatives. Thank you. I was about to say most conservatives. I think would prefer to be independent.
Yeah. Leave me alone. I won't fuck with you. You don't fuck with me, and we'll just go on our merry own way.
Yeah. You know, I don't care what you do as long as it doesn't affect me.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't. You can run up and down the street in a skirt, polka dot skirt, and I might laugh at you a little bit, but I'm not going to care.
That's something you don't see much here in Texas.
No, I haven't seen.
But you see, it got so bad in Washington, bro. It was. I know you've been gone for a while, but you see Washington State. Remember, they used to fly the Washington State flag and the POWMIA flag, right?
Yeah.
Now they fly the LBGT flag, which I have no problem with. Do what you want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you on me. It got to the point to where they were pushing it so bad. It's like I'm 47 years old. I know if I'm gay or straight by now. If I haven't figured it out by now, then bless my soul. But they push it. And it's like I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own house. But the problem is when you take it out of the privacy of your own home and try to push it into somebody else's home, now you've crossed the line.
Exactly. I mean, and it's not even about man versus man, woman. I don't even want to watch a man and a chick making out on the road. I don't want to watch it. Take that shit to your house. Do it there.
Thank you, right?
Jesus.
And I definitely don't want my children watching it.
No.
I don't care if it's man, woman, man. I don't care. I don't want my kids watching that shit.
No, go to your house. Do it there. I mean,
have some decency and some decorum.
Well, people don't have that anymore. That's the problem.
You're not joking about that.
Mm-mm. I mean, I decided today. I was talking with my wife. It's like I don't even want to send my kid to school. I want to homeschool them. And it's like because I don't want the stuff that they're trying to put down their throats. My kid's not going to be indoctrinated. I'm going to teach them real world stuff.
Well, see, here's the thing, Brandon. I think you're wrong. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
It's more important that our kids learn to be woke than actually learn arithmetic or English or how to write in cursive or how to give a speech or about history. I don't know where you're at on that, Brandon. What were you thinking?
Well, that's true.
You think it's more important that your kids get a proper education?
It's horrible. They must come with that white rage thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be... Actually, you know what? It actually is a curriculum. It's called critical race theory.
Oh. I'll have to skip that one.
Man, it's because they didn't teach it when we were growing up.
Oh.
But think about how far we've fallen when even our educators think it's more important. I watched this video where this teacher, so-called teacher, right? Not like any of the teachers I had growing up. She's saying, well, because her kids had the lowest number. She's a math teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
The lowest proficiency in math in the lowest school in the lowest school district in the state of Chicago. She goes, well, yeah, but at least our kids know how to use the proper pronouns. Well, it's like you're a math teacher.
Exactly. Math. 1 + 1 = 2.
Right?
Let's try that. Let's start with that.
Well, look at how many kids are graduating now and they can't even do the basics.
Well,
Kids are graduating and they can't even do 8th grade classwork.
Well, like I said, or remember that I talked about a little bit ago how Oregon removed the requirement for reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yep,
and
I
they
do
did
remember
it
that.
because it was racist to require that stuff. You're like,
Well, only white people are on time, brother.
I guess so.
But we also have 15 minutes for everything.
Yeah, so my kid is not going to public school. That's not going to happen because, I mean, no, it's not going to
Well,
happen.
not only that, but how do I put this? Nothing against teachers. I love teachers.
Yeah.
Some of the most important people in my life were teachers.
Yep, mine too.
I have this story about Sky, Mr. Mickling. He lives in Dying Box. Matter of fact, he was sitting out today, and I started to take Tammy by to see him, but we'll get him another day. But I was in the 4th grade, and I kept failing tests. And he's like, bring your notebook up. Let me see if you're taking notes. So he looks at my notebook, and he's like, you're taking too many notes. Older white guy, matter of fact, one of my favorite people. None of them back in, I've been in Texas a few times this year. Every time I see him, if he's outside, I stop and hug him, right? Give him a kiss on the cheek. Great guy, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, here's what I want you to do. He goes, you're taking a lot of notes. He goes, this next test, don't take any notes. Just listen to what I'm saying. Stop taking notes. And so I passed that test with a 98. And so he goes, you learn by listening. Stop taking notes. And I used that to finish my nursing prereqs. I used that to get my associates. I never took notes in anything. I never took notes. I just listened. But it was teachers like that that formed me. And my niece has the same issue. And so I told her to stop taking notes. My little sister was against it at the time. I was like, well, let's give it 1 week and see what happens. You do little pop quizzes, right?
Yeah.
She was getting like 40s, 50s on her pop quizzes. When she stopped taking notes, she got 100 on her pop quiz. So now she doesn't take notes either, but it's teachers like that. Not teachers who are teaching, if you're white, you're oppressing, or if you're black, you're oppressed. Somebody go tell Damon John he's oppressed while he's boarding his private plane. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's no lie that, oppression was there, and, and some people have it worse off than others, especially, but it's not because they're black, it's because they live in a shitty fucking area.
It's economic equality.
Yes. You look at Chicago or some places in New York or California.
Hey, Brandon.
The rents
Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon. Tammy's going to be mad at you. Because now I can't be romantic, because as soon as you said Chicago, a picture of Lori Lightfoot's face popped up in my head. So now I'm out of commission for about a week. So she may drive to Florida. Lock your doors, brother. Lock your doors.
It was close enough. You could drive here in a day. Yeah, but
yeah, it's 14 hours. Which is nothing now.
It isn't. No, you can do it in no time. But on point, I mean, it is what it is. It's not their race. It's not their color. It's the location where they're fucking raised and where they're living, because they think the whole world is like that place, that's all they know.
Yep.
And it must all be like this because this is all I know. And unfortunately, it's the fucking Democrats that are running those areas into the fucking ground.
I'm glad you spoke on culture, because here's the thing, right? People often talk about black culture and white culture. That's not really a true ideal anymore.
Not anymore.
No, I was still in Washington. I'm listening to my George Strait. I got it down pretty respectful, right? Mm-hmm. There's loud ass rap music, and I'm like, what the hell? Look over, it's a white guy. And he turned his music down, and answered the phone and heard my country music, and he looks over, he's like, it's the culture.
Yeah.
Culture has to change. The culture can't be about murder and drugs because that's not realistic.
Well, shit. Today I was what I was listening to. It was a Biggie Smalls. It came on my music on my streaming app, and I was listening to it and how he in his video he's talking about how he so happy because he can now own a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis.
Oh, I know what song you're talking about.
Yeah, and talking about how he was so happy and he could have a 50-inch screen TV. And I mean, here's a big baller, got millions of dollars, and he's talking about how when he was growing up, Christmas missed him, and they couldn't. And birthdays were really bad because they didn't have nothing, and it's like poorness is not, it's those areas. It sucks. But I mean, I don't know. I grew up in a poor house. We were poor.
I did too.
So I mean,
oh, Brendan, we never even. My birthday wasn't even important to me until I want to say I was 26, 27, because my parents didn't have money to get me birthday presents and have a big birthday party until I made it on my own. I started working at Western, and it was actually Puffy. It wasn't a song. It was this show I saw. It's when I had a little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about how he celebrated his birthday for a whole week. I was like, I remember I'll never forget the date that show came out. It was September 13th. My birthday was on October 18th.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to celebrate my birthday for a whole week. And you know what I did?
What?
And I stayed in this apartment complex. I wore nothing but a robe. My daughter was in LA. Me and wife are broken up for the umpteenth time, right? The ex-wife now. Bro, I invited friends over. We drank. I took a week off from Western. Oops. From that place I used to work at. But I took a week off. I did nothing but party, and that became my ritual for a few years. I take a week off, my birthday week, and just party all week. It was relatively inexpensive, and I was like, man, I could have been living like this the whole time. But you're right. When you're young and you grew up in a poor culture, you don't know what you actually can achieve.
Yeah. It's great. Me and my wife have been talking because where I'm at now in my life compared to where I was, because we grew up, like I said, we were pretty poor, single mom, 5 kids. We didn't have money for nothing. If I wanted to have a school lunch, I'd have to work for the lunch lady kind of thing. If I wanted to, even food was kind of low at the house. That's probably why I'm fat, because fucking, we had unhealthy.
No, Brandon, I'm the same way. You know what? If I don't have a refrigerator,
You're cut out.
In a freezer full of food, I panic. If I don't have money, I panic. Oh, yeah. Says my internet connection is unstable.
Yeah, can
you hear me now?
I can now. Yeah, you were cutting out.
Okay. It's the same way with me, man. If I don't have food in the house,
yeah,
I don't mean like a couple of packs. I know people who can go to the shop every day and get their food. No, bro, I have to have it stocked.
Yes.
And if I don't have money available, I panic. I mean, I break out in sweats. I panic.
Yep, I have the same thing. And my fridge is always full. My cupboard is always full. The thing, simple as toilet paper. That's probably why I didn't run out of toilet paper when the whole panic was going on, because I have so much of it. Because growing up, we might not have been able to have money to afford toilet paper. So
exactly.
So like I've always had stashes, because when you grow up like that, I mean, you learn things. And like now, I work for myself. I make my own money. And here, me and my wife are talking about, after we buy our house, I'm looking at buying a sailboat so I can sail to the Caribbean.
I saw that today on your post.
Yeah, I mean,
what made you think of sailing? I'm not going with you, by the way. I don't like big
all around me. All around, water's all around me. So And
That's not really a selling thing to Dan.
all I can see is going down to the
I don't
Caribbean.
mean selling as in selling. I mean selling as in SALE. You're not selling me on that. I have a reason though. I have a reason.
Okay.
So when I was in Haiti, I was a scout medic, right?
Yeah.
So they sent a contingent of scouts to the north side of the island to protect the elections because we had just removed their president, right?
Okay.
Violently, very violently. So we're on a barge, sailing around, right?
Yeah.
And we're tied in. We have our armored Humvees. We have all our equipment on because we're going to hit the beach as soon as we get there, right? Woo, yeah. But we're tied into the top of our Humvees. I got my boonie hat on. I'm taking a nap. Got my weapon strapped on, my aid bag, my rucksack. Probably roughly 80, 85 pounds of equipment, right?
Yeah.
That's tied on me. That's not going anywhere, right? I had a second LT walk over and wake me up. And there was water coming over the barge. I'm looking at it, right?
Yeah.
And I look around and there's nothing. There's no land, just water. And he goes, Doc, can you swim good? I turn around, look at him, like, LT, you do understand if this barge goes down, we're all drowning. And he goes, well, I'm not tied to a vehicle. I'm like, but all you men are, and you're wearing about 60 pounds of equipment. How long can you swim? And he goes, that's a good point, Doc. I'm like, thank you, sir. Like, and he walks off, and he walks down because you know the officers, they get the little special treatment. And he walks down into the little cabin area. I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna go strip off his equipment. I don't know if he did or didn't, because I put my booty hat, went back down and went to sleep. I'm like, well, if I die, I die.
Right.
I was like, I'm never doing this again. Matter of fact, I just finished my Ranger in processing. I always wanted to be an Army Ranger, right?
Uh-huh.
After that experience, I was like, yeah, fuck that.
Fuck water.
I'm not doing that. I'm not sticking me out in the water. But no, the sailing thing, man, that was very interesting. I seen that and I was like, because you got to admit, Brandon, when you were here 2 years ago, you'd have never ever thought of buying a sailboat.
No. I wasn't even thinking of being able to just go and do anything. I was so busy working overtime all the damn time. My life was work. My work was work as much as I could to pay all the debt, to pay bills, to pay the high rent, and never have anything left over. I mean, I was happy if I had enough money to be able to afford a case of beer on the weekend. I mean,
or my favorite, the double Whopper with cheese from Burger King.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a luxury.
Yeah,
it's a luxury.
Yeah, and then you get down there, it's so much easier. It's like,
yeah, you know, you saw the one I saw. You liked it. We got our cinder block. We got our roofing stuff. Come January, we're gonna have a house, brand new house, built in May. You know, and our mortgage would be like $900 a month.
Now, what would that house cost you in Washington State or any?
Right now in Washington, it would be probably about $250,000, maybe $300,000 depending where you're living.
Now, Brandon, you know, my business is in realty, right?
Okay.
A lot of signings, all that stuff, right? No. That would cost you that much if you're living in one of the worst neighborhoods in Washington. Well, maybe if you're living in Yelm.
We're getting a special price because we're having it built. It's always cheaper if you have a house built. Just because it takes longer, it's more of a pain in the ass. And as it is right now, the same we got in the house at $148,000 plus $5,000 add-ons. Right now, base level for that same house is $175,000. So it's already jumped up over $20,000 in the last. Woo. But there's so many people moving here. There's 1,000 people, I think it's a day or a week, that are moving to Florida.
Well, that's one of the things going on with Texas.
Yeah.
They're leaving the blue states.
Mm-hmm. They're leaving the blue states, coming down with cash. Because they're selling their overpriced house, getting enough cash, coming down, dropping huge ass down payments on these houses, or paying off cash, you know, and raising the price for everybody else around them.
Yep. one of the things up there, right?
Uh-huh.
Things are completely different. Now people are flooding the red state or the red states, right? The blues are flooding the reds.
Yes.
That's why I think. Have you seen the Texas abortion law?
Yes, I heard about that.
Now the law actually doesn't really change much of anything. You know that, right? It doesn't
No.
change much of anything.
No.
It doesn't. But you know what it did
What?
when it passed? It pissed off a lot of liberals. So I think Abbott's plan was to start pushing liberals out of Texas. Because it didn't really change anything. It changed nothing.
The rules never change, just change some wording or something.
Well, they didn't change the exemptions. Like if you're raped or you're a victim of child abuse or incest, you still get your abortion at whatever week, right?
Yep.
The whole 6-week thing, right? It's just you're out messing around, having fun, you end up pregnant, you got 6 weeks. I think Abbott did it to push liberals out of Texas. I think it was a ploy. It was a plot.
Well, there's always a plot.
Well, I think it was a really good plot.
Yes.
Because as soon as that law passed, what I started seeing was, because I keep up on the Facebooks, I keep up on the Twitter, I'll check stories, and a lot of liberals saying they're not going to live in Texas anymore. With that law, Portland banned all products from Texas, right?
No, I did
So
not.
Portland banned all products from Texas, and all travel to Texas. And Abbott came out and goes, I hope they ban oil and coal so they can sleep in the dark. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
They should do that. They should say, you know what? They banned everything, so we're not going to send any. We cannot send any oil or to them. That's what they should say.
Yeah, it's like I had on my other show, one lady from Texas, one of my subscribers, she said, I've never bought anything with made in Portland on it. I'm like, that's a good point. I never have either. So now they're not shipping goods and services to Texas from Portland. I'm like, okay, what were you shipping? Do you
What do you
think
make?
Texas?
Tillamook cheese? It's like, what do they make? Tillamook cheese?
Well, see, that's the thing. We have our own cheese factories down here because Texas is the home of cattle. It's like, what? You're not going to send your hippies anymore? Then how are we going to do our songs in the park on the weekend? Now we're hurt.
Right?
But it was just so funny. It's like the mayor of Portland put that out, but it's like your city's on fucking fire for fucking almost 2 years.
Exactly. Worry
And you
about
want
your
to
own.
ban? It's like you want to ban Texas stuff over an abortion law that doesn't change anything. That's the thing. I was looking at the law. I'm looking. I'm like, this didn't really change much. The gestation period. That's it. That's all it changed. 6 weeks. But if you were raped or you're a victim of incest, that doesn't apply. You get an exemption.
Okay.
It's like, why would they? I was like, why would Texas take the time and why would Abbott take the time and make sure that law made it through? And I'm like, oh, it's a ploy. It's a ploy. Because think about how close Texas was to going blue.
True.
So now you pass that law, and how many liberals leave your state, and now you're back red. It's like, that was a stroke of genius.
Well, he needs to do a lot more because they're bringing in a lot of the individuals from other places that might continue to vote blue. Because as long as they vote blue, they might get to stay in the country.
Well, Abbott has done this thing here in Texas where you come in illegally, you go to jail, and he ships you back to Mexico. Completely unsupported by the United States government. He did it himself. It's just gotten really touchy, I guess I could say. But he's done that because I think he knows what's at stake. You're talking about the future of our country. You're talking about from me and you being able to sit here and talk, you in Florida, me in Texas.
Yeah.
To just a full-on war. Portland now, they're having shootings at these Antifa rallies, right? Random shootings. Antifa's just shooting random people.
Oh, I didn't hear that either.
Yeah, that was that just happened. Well, it just happened a couple of days ago. I know you work a lot, so
Yeah, that's crazy. So hope
you work for yourself. You tend to work a lot.
it's gonna change. I mean, I don't know. Something's got to happen, and it needs to happen fast. But we need our leadership to. We need to urge our leadership to do more.
Brandon, we don't have leadership.
No, but we need to use what we have, unfortunately, or change it. You know, we need to change it. We got the elections coming up in a year and a month, year and a month and 2 weeks or something like that. We really need to push hard for that. We got a bunch of really good candidates that are running, and we need to push
True.
forward.
Speaking of candidates who are running for elections, right? Kim Kilsick, you know her and Candace Owens got into it because
Yes.
Candace Owens came out with the opinion that Republicans shouldn't be throwing money into districts they can't win. I don't agree with Candace Owens on that.
No,
You
not
shouldn't
at
be
all.
trying to take those districts.
Exactly. I mean, why not try to teach? You need to be able
No,
to
that even if you lose, you've made an inway.
Yeah, exactly.
And in Detroit or in the state of Michigan, no candidate has got more votes than, or no Republican candidate has got more votes than Kim Kilsick in 2 decades. So now you've made an inroad. Because now you have supporters. It's really, I don't know, I guess kind of weird.
If it was me, if I had the decision-making power, for all those places that are, hard on Democrat, no Republicans won in a long time, what I would be doing is flooding their commercials with, look how it could be if you lived in a Republican state. Look how good they have it. Look how good, it is there. Why isn't your people doing this?
But it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot, Brandon. Think about it, right? Trump won a large percentage of the black vote.
Yeah.
Trump often tended to speak off the hip, which is, I think, a great thing. More people should speak off the hip. But how you won that is that, what do you have to lose?
Right? What do you have to
It's a
lose?
very simple statement. What do you have to lose?
It's true. It's true. It's absolutely true.
Well, then, like with the Trump thing, with the people don't get, man. I don't know. It just kind of bothers me. People don't get the whole criminal justice reform thing that Obama talked about for 8 years.
Yeah.
Trump did his first year.
Yep.
The lowest black unemployment in history. Trump did his second year.
Yeah, the highest wage growth in history.
It was Trump.
Yep.
But people don't talk about that because
No.
he wrote mean tweets. I was on Facebook and I ran across this post by one of my buddies, right? And he had posted, "Oh, I hope you're happy that the mean tweets are over." But some lady posted back, he posted something about, "Do you still support Biden?" And she was like, "Yes, I still support him because I don't have to listen to Trump's mean tweets."
You cutting out. You cutting out. Hello. Hello. Your internet's cutting out. Maybe it's mine. No. Dan.
Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
I didn't hear a damn thing you said.
okay, so I was like, listen to those mean tweets. No, it's my ancestral internet connections unstable. Are you back now?
Yeah, my internet. We have a big storm coming through right now, and I think it's going to knock me out.
We're getting stormy too.
Yeah, well, mine it's doing pretty crazy right now, and
All right, so let's just kill it and we'll pick it up another time.
all right. Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you everybody for
Hey,
watching
brother.
the Dan and Brandon presents Underground News. We will catch you tomorrow or some other time. Keep up. Check us out. Watch Dan's channel. What
The Dan Dawson Show.
Dan Dawson Show, where he goes more in depth on topics.
Actually, I just talked crazy for like 5-7 minutes.
That works. That works. Alrighty, y'all. We will catch you when we have less storms coming through. Playing heck on my internet connection. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.
All right.
Stop. End.
Yes.
End.